CCJ lets Bizaram walk free. 2 die in quarantine street race. More protests over rice millers slashing prices. And think while it's still legal. I'm Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Murder-accused Marcus Bizaram is now a free man following a ruling delivered by the CCJ this morning. Bizaram had filed an appeal challenging Section 72 of the Criminal Law Procedure Act. This statute empowers the DPP to direct the committal of a murder accused for trial, even though the magistrate may have found there was no prima facie case to do so. On 2 occasions, Magistrate Renita Singh dismissed the charges against Bizaram after she found that there was not sufficient evidence to commit Bizaram to stand trial for the offence. But after some back and forth spanning the past 5 years, Bizaram was granted special leave to appeal the decision of the appeal court to the CCJ. And obviously, he was successful. Wow, isn't it amazing what money could do? Another street race has ended in tragedy as 2 young men died in a horrific accident at the ballroom turn quarantine police on Tuesday morning. The 2 were identified as Lakshman Sukhan and Danny Paran. An eyewitness said that 2 cars were speeding at the time when one slammed head-on into the truck. Sukhan was driving the vehicle and Puran was a passenger in the same vehicle. The government is actually rescinding only the restrictions on social activities and the requirement for individuals to present their proof of vaccination when entering public buildings. However, they are still demanding a proof of vaccine and a negative Rona test to enter the nation legally. The new regulations state that wearing a face mask is no longer mandatory, though it is encouraged, particularly when people are in public. Testing for coronavirus remains, and anyone who tests positive is required to isolate themselves and share their test results with the Ministry of Health. Now, I see the logic of a phased approach, but again, shouldn't the people have had a say in things like this? Oh no. Joseph Hallman has officially tendered his resignation from the National Assembly. This time it's for sure, because it was confirmed by the Clerk of the National Assembly, Sherlock Isaacs, today. Earlier this month, Hallman submitted a letter that stated his intention to resign from the National Assembly on March 15th. But to clear up any confusion, Hallman submitted a new letter on Monday. Nevertheless, the National Assembly has not been informed of who the coalition will replace Hallman with, and it's been over a month without a leader to said opposition. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is the 2014 Audi Q3. It comes with Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $5.6 million. All paid down as low as $1,120,000 down with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Biddle Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Rico sent you for this sweet deal. The rice woes continue in Guyana. Just mere hours after Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa told the world that quarantine rice millers agreed to pay farmers $65,000 for a ton of paddy, the millers reduced the price to $62,000 for grade A+ paddy. The farmer said that none of their paddy is graded as A+, hence they will only receive a maximum of $61,000 per ton. According to one miller, if the price on the world market remains the same, the price could be as low as $52,000 per ton before the end of the crop. Meanwhile, rice farmers in Region 2 staged a protest today demanding higher prices for their paddy. The current price offered is approximately $3,500 per bag, a decrease of $600 compared to the last crop. That's per bag, not ton. They explained that given the high cost of production, they are demanding $5,000 a bag. The Ministry of Agriculture said that it is doing everything in its capacity to reduce the cost of production in the rice industry, but the rice farmers said they will continue to protest if the price for paddy does not increase. Last year, the Labour Ministry managed to recoup $38.2 million in salaries and other pay owed to over 1,000 employees nationwide. The Labour Ministry says that it's taking a more active stance on employers who illegally withhold monies from their workers, which is a crime that is called wage theft. Not withholding monies or something cute like that. No, it's wage theft, and it's a crime. The Labour Minister says that in each case they intervene, they gave the employer one of 2 options. Either cut them a check, or they're calling a press conference to out them as a dirty wage thief. And in almost all occasions, the people paid up. The ministry received a total of 1,086 complaints for last year. 77% of those complaints have been resolved. The majority of the complaints were from the security industry, which accounted for 27%. Other sectors included commerce, food and restaurants, agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. On Monday, 39-year-old convicted murderer John Caesar, an inmate of the Mazaruni prison, was charged and fined $2.5 million after he was caught with 3 kilos of cannabis in a 5-gallon bottle on March 10th. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 4 years in prison in addition to the fine. Police said he was walking towards the security block of the prison with the bottle in hand when a prison officer called out to him, but he ignored the officer and continued walking. When the officer caught up with him, Caesar told him that there was water in the bottle. But obviously there wasn't water in there. After inspecting it, it was found to actually contain cannabis, 3 cell phone chargers, 20 packs of cigarettes, and a cell phone earpiece. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way to make extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Over in the diaspora, 19-year-old college student Royden Cave was killed Sunday morning after he was shot inside a home in Buffalo, New York. Officials said he was a freshman criminal justice major. They also said the shooting happened shortly after 3:40 at what they describe as an off-campus gathering. Before going to college, he lived with his Guyanese parents in Brooklyn, New York, and they migrated to the United States when Cave was just 3 years old. Police did not release any further details about the shooting. It's now time for today's Runner Report. Today, the nation recorded 10 new cases. There are now 1,255 persons dead, 4 in the ICU, 175 in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 63,157. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now for today's oil update. While the main focus is usually on Exxon, today we're going to look at 2 of the little guys in the local oil industry. Yesterday, Echo Atlantic Oil and Gas announced that it has acquired 100% of JHI Associates Inc., including JHI's 17.5% working interest in the Kanji block offshore Guyana. The deal is part of a proposed cashless acquisition with a value of approximately $52 million at the company's current share price, which would make Echo the sole owner of JHI's cash balance and its stake in the local market. Meanwhile, CGX Energy is quietly clearing away mangroves from land on the eastern bank of the Berbice River adjacent to Crab Island to facilitate the construction of their deep water port. While the company has announced its intention to preserve some 10 acres of mangroves on the 30-acre plot, there has been no disclosure of the percentage of mangroves cleared to date to facilitate the development. But the images from Starbrick News makes it obvious that a lot has been removed. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2022. Lenora Estates, West Coast, and Marara properties are within your reach. Move out to the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 for more info. And now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? We live in an era of smartphones and dumb people. Most folks live mindlessly day to day, not realizing what is going on in the world around them. Then they end up in dead-end jobs and dead-end relationships because they refuse to use just a little common sense. Honestly, it's so bad that most people don't even own their own political thoughts. Yes, they just heard something their favorite authority figure said and it sounded nice, so they just kept repeating it over and over again because they thought it made them sound smart. In fact, they will even defend the lie if you even question it, because how dare you question them, their leader, and their intelligence? This is true in the US, in Guyana, in the UK, everywhere, literally everywhere. That's because my years in the media have allowed me to communicate with people of all walks of life. And from that I've learned that honestly, most people around the world are actually pretty stupid. Dumber than a sack of Edo stupid. Like, painfully stupid. It's ridiculous. But I know you're probably expecting some profound point to all that I'm saying, but this time there is none. Ha! But I will say this. If you're a regular watcher of this show, I know for a fact that you're not one of those duncy people I speak of. And for that I say, thank you. Now for our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday's question was, is it a good idea to end the Rona restrictions? Why or why not? Chisel Chipper 68 said, the Rona restriction should be lifted based on trends and numbers at the local level, and not what's happening internationally. If this is the case, then free up the meat, because that's what the rest of the world doing. Amen, brother. I am Bantu says, some of the safety measures should stay in place, because China is experiencing a deadly outbreak of Omicron. Indeed. Dopamine says by it, the Rona restrictions, didn't matter from the beginning. Some Guyanese, it seems, who are immune or just advantageous. I always said that the only thing that really saved us from the Rona was truly the grace of God. Downraj Mohan says, remove restrictions and continue to build your immune system and blood count and pH levels. All of that is vital for better health and happiness and general daily hygiene. Indeed, all of those are ways to prevent from getting the Rona. And just because the state is no longer taking it seriously doesn't mean that you should stop. Barefoot Wanderer says yes, the mandates need to be dropped. People need to choose a healthier lifestyle, eat healthier, educate themselves, use critical thinking, and lastly, babies need to see facial expressions to have a higher IQ. I agree 100%. And finally, Richie K says that he's looking forward to the end of the Rona report, and he suggests probably putting a spotlight on some positive stories going on around in Guyana. That's a great idea. We'll see what we could do. So for tonight's question, what can the government do to help lessen the impact of inflation on your pocketbook? Think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.